Hello, everyone. Welcome to Optimizing Your Google Business Listing. My name is Will Hankey. Great to have you on today. We are going to go through a lot of stuff around what we call GMB or Google My Business. I'll probably refer to it as GMB throughout this. This is one of a lot of trainings that we do. Every single month we do trainings, and it's all kind of ties into what we call our digital dominance method, which, as you can see, there's a lot of different pieces too. And, you know, as having a business and doing it, there is no one magic bullet. You know, you can't just say, okay, we're going to do Facebook and that's going to bring us all of our leads, you know, or we're just going to do SEO, or we're just going to do YouTube, or whatever that is. It requires a lot of ingredients, right, thrown into the pot in order to create something that works very well. So this is obviously just one piece of that, as we call the digital dominance method. So today what we're going to cover is the latest updates with the Google Maps listing, the 5 biggest issues that could be preventing you from ranking well in that Google Maps section. You know, there's only 3 listings in there. There's probably you plus more than 2 competitors in your town. So you have to be able to get into that, what we call the 3-pack there. Our proven model for ranking in that 3-pack, some tools. We're going to talk about some different tools that some of it can automate, which is nice, and how to get more authentic reviews. There's definitely something important about getting the authentic reviews. You can only ask mom and your cousins so many times for reviews, right, before you have to start getting the real ones. So my name is Will Hankey. My company, we are a certified Google partner. I'm the author of Your Internet Marketing Plan for Window Treatment Companies, and getting ready to launch a new book. Pretty excited about that. 23 years teaching digital marketing, been doing a ton of speaking and teaching around it. Got a lot of videos, a lot of how-tos, that kind of stuff. Been an active member of the WCAA for several years and the virtual chapter. And I'm also a board member of the Custom Home Decor Network. So glad to have you here. If you do want a copy of the book, you can get that. I'll send it out to you free. I've got a box of them sitting here. WTMarketingPros.com/book. Put your mailing address in there, and I will get one in the mail to you. I actually have to go to the post office today. So if you want a book, fill that out, and I will do my best to get it in today's mail. Which means you'll have it in a day or two. So real quick, our story, my daughter Amber works with me, and she does all the web development type stuff. And over the last couple of years, we've won several awards, top 50 fastest growing company. We just got rated top rated SEO agency for 2020 by SEO Blog. That was really exciting. I mentioned the book. We're a veteran owned company. So excited to have you on. And excited to be able to present this to you today. So if you do have questions and answers, I have my little chat box open here. And if you have a question as we're going through these different things, go ahead and put it in the chat area there. And there is a Q&A area as well, but I can't monitor both. So if you have a question, put it in the chat area, and I will do my best to keep an eye on that box as well and answer your questions live, which is the nice thing about being on live, that you get clarification if you need it, that kind of stuff. So all right, let's see. Here's the question everybody wants to know, right? Does Google Maps still matter? Well, I would say so. Here's the thing: 71% of the clicks go to these 2 areas, and a majority of users nowadays are using mobile devices. Cell phones, obviously, but also tablets are considered mobile. Those users tend to use this 3-pack or the map area to make their decision. And we're going to see in a little bit about, reviews, things like that. Like here's the Louvre Shop Memphis, 3-star average with 2 reviews. And then these guys got 3 5-star reviews, and these guys got 1 5-star review. So I would say immediately, right off the bat, louver shop is out, right? And these two guys are probably going to check these guys out and maybe make a decision, give them a call, something like that. You know, it's so easy to call them. It's so easy to get directions, everything right from your mobile device. So getting into this section, and of course the top of the SEO organic, is going to drive a lot of traffic to your business. You can also put, obviously, you know, get in more than one location, which is really nice. Here's a fantastic scenario. This is one of our clients. They're listed in the 3-pack, and they're also listed first in organic. But not only that, they're listed second in organic, which is really cool because there's only 10 spots in organic search. And if you can get 2 spots, that means you're pushing a competitor off that front page. So having 2 is even better, plus being in that map area, it's a win-win situation there. So yes, Google Maps definitely matters. It drives calls, and you can't rely on pay-per-click alone. Now, I was kind of talking before we got started and just mentioning that Google Maps is, even if not higher now in driving leads than SEO. So, you know, some of our clients are 50-50. They're getting 50% of their phone calls and leads from Google Maps. They're getting 50% from their organic rankings. Other clients are 60-40 in favor of GMB. So, you know, this is a big deal. And Google is really spending a lot of time right now helping optimize, making those GMB profiles a little better. They're also putting some different features, testing a lot of features and stuff. So I'm sure we're going to see a lot more stuff rolling out over the coming months around GMB. They seem to be really ramping that up. So, and I mentioned mobile search. You know, this is where business owners need to be, is paying attention to mobile right now. Look at this. I mean, here's mobile, here's TV, and we can see that last year they kind of crossed over, actually middle 2018. They've really kind of, you know, gone in the other direction. So, you know, as the question says here, which screen should you be on? Obviously, obviously TV is losing its authority. But just being on mobile and being mobile friendly is going to help you a lot with your business. So let's talk about some of the biggest changes that Google has made. They reduced the Google Map listing from 7 to 3. And quite honestly, this has changed a lot over the years. And I'm talking 5-7 years. You know, it was 5 results, then it was 7, then it was 3. You know, they just keep kind of playing with it to see what seems to be optimized. Right now, with it only being 3, it's a pretty competitive place to be able to get into. They are serving paid ads in the map results. So this means you can actually get a 4th listing in the 3-pack. And we have clients that are having very good success with this. I'd even call this a little bit of a secret right now, that you can actually run ads inside the map section. If you're already ranking in the map section and then you run an ad in there, you can actually show up twice. So you could be 2 of the 4 options that show up. That's pretty huge. Critical to advance or to complete the advanced verification process. Make sure that you go through that. And reviews now do require real accounts. So it has to be a real Google account that is signed up and able to leave some sort of a review there. So here is a couple different things that used to show up, and I'm using plumbers as an example here. You know, we used to have ads up here at the top, and then we had some organic results, and then we had, you know, the 3-pack, or in this case, it was the 7-pack, right? No map. Then all of a sudden the map kind of showed up, the 3-pack showed up after that. The original one kind of went away, and you know, this is how it looks now. There are home service ads. They don't show up for a lot of window treatment areas around the country, but this is coming. These home service ads, this is why I show plumbers, because you can actually put ads up here at the very top with the reviews, things like that. Then the 3-pack, then then AdWords, then the Google My Business, and finally SEO. So there are a lot of opportunities to get your business seen and recognized. So as I mentioned, home services is something that's coming to our industry, and we need to make sure that that is part of the overall strategy, especially if you're doing any sort of pay-per-click type stuff. And then of course the map listing, any third-party listings, and then the organics as well. So lots of pieces kind of to the puzzle. Another thing is the fake business listings. Google has done a really good job of really killing those off. And even in the last couple months, this is a little bit older chart, but even in the last couple months, they've really started deleting hundreds of thousands of fake listings, which has been a big deal for some industries. So what can be hurting you when it comes to your overall rankings in the maps? Well, you need to have an office in the city that you're targeting. I mean, that's kind of a given, right? This is a struggle for some, especially if you're home-based or you have a workroom that's maybe in the not in the city, outside of the city a little bit harder to kind of rank in the city. You know, if Seattle is your city and you're over here in Cottage Lake, I almost said this Sammamish, but I'm going to go with Cottage Lake. That sounds easier. You know, that it's harder to rank in Seattle if you're not actually in that location. It's not impossible. It just requires a little bit more work. If anybody had tried to spam Google with fake locations, this was really big when you could get a PO box, a UPS store, which gave you an actual address. You know, some of those things used to work and don't work anymore. They don't work well. You know, you might get away with it for a little bit, but it's not going to work long term. You really need to have a location in the physical area that you're wanting to rank in. Inconsistent name, address, and phone number. We call this your NAP profile. Different name, different address, or different phone numbers on different websites is going to confuse Google. You're not going to get credit for all of those different listings if they don't match up. It's very important that you always match name, address, and phone. And address is probably the biggest one here. If you're 123 Main Street, make sure that you're always spelling street. Either always spell it out or always use ST. Whatever it is, make sure that you're always consistent with how you do it when you're listing it on your website, which should be in your footer of your website, your name, address, phone number. On any business listing type sites, if you're building citations, some of these other things we'll talk about. No matter where you list your website, make sure your name, address, phone number, always the same. Did you spam your city and the company name? So we'll see this sometimes where, let's look at this example over here to the right, Seattle Awnings. Maybe that's the name of the company, or maybe the company is Awnings Inc. or something like that. Businesses will put in there a name that is not really their business name, and Google's getting on top of that. So they're going to kill that. They're going to knock that out. I still see it a lot when I'm doing these different searches that these businesses are located or listed, you know, with Seattle Awnings, window treatments, shutters, shades, blinds, you know, and they just spam that entire area, but not a good idea. Don't do it. And then, do you have enough reviews? So we'll talk a little bit more about reviews, but reviews are huge and very important for ultimately getting into the 3-pack. So our proven formula includes a couple different things. Obviously, signing up for Google My Business, getting citations, getting links from other websites pointing back to yours, and then improving the amount of reviews that you have. This all goes without saying that you need to have good on-page SEO, that when somebody actually does click through to your website, that they find information there that helps them, that it is built with conversions in mind, that kind of thing. So very important to have all of these pieces, and we're going to go through these pieces. So first, claim and optimize your Google business listing or your Google My Business listing. And there's a lot of pieces to this. Obviously, you need to have a login with Google, which most people do. Most people are using a Gmail or they've signed up for Google Analytics or something like that, you can use that same one. Make sure that your company name matches, doesn't have keywords. Put in your website address. Important that if you are HTTPS, as in secure, that you've updated that listing to make sure that it shows with the S. That has been something that businesses have been doing over the recent years, but they haven't gone back and updated those. Side tip, you should also update that in your Google Analytics. There's a setting in there that asks if you're HTTP or HTTPS. You need to make sure that you're pick the S one if your site is secure. If your site's not secure, you need to get that done right away. That's another talk for another day. But you need to get that done. Use a local number. So no 800 numbers. The whole long distance thing is probably useless anymore anyway, toll free. Use a local address, no PO box, no UPS store. Don't try to get around the system, circumvent it. And then upload photos. And this is a really big one, especially for the window treatment and awning industry, because people like to look at pictures and imagine what their place could look like. Wow, that one is really beautiful. I really like this room. I'd like to do something similar. But also pictures of your staff, of the front of your store, office if you have it. Inside look at the workroom. A guy welding the awning frame together, something like that. All of those things are very important. Pictures of equipment, pictures of your work, new jobs that you've done, especially if you've completed them. Those are really good. And then one thing I did not mention in here is to geotag these pictures. And that's something that we've gone over in other trainings. But make sure that when you're uploading pictures that you're geotagging them to your location. That will actually help your GMB profile a little bit more. And then, of course, hours of operation, services offered. Most of this is done by going to google.com/business, claim your profile, and then you're going to get this info tab over on the left. And the info tab is where almost all of this information is, including hours, uploading pictures, all that kind of stuff. Lots of information here that you could put in. Here's an example of mine. Got our address. I don't have a service area because it's the entire US. Our hours, any special dates that you might be closed. So Memorial Day, July 4th, all those kind of things. If you're closed, you can actually put those in so that they show up in Google's system correctly now. All right, here we go. Claim and optimize your Google listing. One of the things that you'll see, obviously, is the check mark, the green check mark, which means verified. They might ask you to link over to your website or somehow make sure that you can actually claim that website and it really is yours. And then, of course, as I mentioned before, make sure that you upload photos, including logos, things like that. And you'll get some really great insights. In fact, I've seen Google recently emailing more and more often about how many people are looking at your photos, how many people are visiting your profile, how many phone numbers your GMB profile is, or phone calls it is producing. Lots of really great information in that Insights tab there. So let's talk about some best practices. I mentioned this already. Update your photos and then add them on a consistent basis. So I'm talking, let's say once a month, right? You go in, you have a couple projects that you've finished, update those, put them in there. They'll move those projects to the front, which is great. So put it on your calendar to once a month at least get in there and update your photos. That would be fantastic. Google Posts. So this is something that is really gaining traction, and basically it's a way to actually list something in your GMB profile, and you have control over this as far as kind of like a little feature. So you could feature an upcoming event if maybe you're sponsoring something or you're hosting some sort of an event. You can also put in there specials that you might have if you have any specials that are coming up, or the Hunter Douglas specials that come out, those kind of things you could do. You could also put blogs in there. So we like to put a blog title, picture, and then the first paragraph or two, and then a link back to our client's blog. And that way it shows up in the GMB profile, but also we get an opportunity maybe to get that person over to the actual website, which means then we can do some retargeting ads and some other really cool stuff. So make sure that you're leveraging Google Posts at least every 90 days, and quite honestly, every 10 days, every 7 days would be even better. If you can just keep that updated and, post older blogs that you've done that are still relevant, that are evergreen type content, obviously specials, anything like that. Respond to reviews. So get a 5-star review. Make sure that you go back in there and say, thanks, Joe, for that comment. We really enjoyed installing that awning, that canopy in front of your business, or whatever it is, right? Respond to those reviews. It looks great when somebody comes to actually look through your reviews and see that the business owner is proactive and interactive with its clients, even after they're done with the service, which is great. And of course, negative reviews, if you get one, respond to it. So write it out, don't hit publish, then wait 24 hours, then decide if that's still what you want to publish, then rewrite it in a much kinder way, and maybe respond to it. I would definitely say respond to a negative review, but don't do it immediately. Give it some time, give it some cool off period, but you need to respond to it. At the same time, if you can contact that client that left that poor review and fix the situation, you can ask them, I would really appreciate it if you could go back in and change that review for us, or delete it, either one, right? That would help. There's also an area for people to ask questions. Are you guys open on Saturday? Do you guys have this particular fabric? Do you guys have some umbrella type stuff, or retractables, anything like that? Always good to watch those questions, and you'll get an email when somebody does ask a question in there. And it's nice to see if you ever go on Amazon and you're looking at a product and you're not sure, a good place to go is down where those questions are. Other people are asking about these products, and same thing can be true inside of GMB. All right, citations. So citations are mentions of your business around the web. They could involve a link, but they don't necessarily have to. So it's basically just a business listing about your business. So Google knows what the name of your business is, what your address is, what your phone number is. So if they come across those things on some other website, but there's no link to your website, they still can make that connection. They're smart enough to know and kind of sort of give you credit for that as a link back to your site. So citations are very important, but as I mentioned earlier, very important that your name, address, phone number is always consistent. It always needs to be the same. It could be that there are duplicate pieces of information or duplicate listings. Sometimes happens. Facebook, when they first launched Facebook pages, they went out and created pages for all the businesses that they thought existed or knew of. So a lot of times when people started claiming their Facebook business page, they would just create a new page, not realizing there was already one created that just needed to be claimed and updated. So watch for those duplicate listings. Make sure that, go to Facebook, type in your business name, make sure it doesn't come up 2 or 3 times or something like that. Do it in Google. Make sure everywhere you go that there are, every listing is the same. The address is always the same, and fix any incorrect business information. Maybe your phone number's changed, or you've moved to a bigger workroom, something like that. And really at the end of the day, there are a lot of places to get citations. Obviously, Facebook, which I mentioned, but you can also maybe get listings from manufacturers. WCAA has a business listing area. House is another good one. All of these different places can list your business and maybe link back to your website. But the more of these you can get, the better. So for a long time, we used a service called Whitespark. It's whitespark.ca. It lets you log in there and get ideas to go build citations. It's a 100% manual process. Not exciting in the least to do. But there are some other services as well. There's Yext, which is pretty popular. Moz Local. We've got a couple clients that use that. Advice Local I've never used, but I have heard of, and Bright Local is one. I'm actually doing a trial period with Bright Local right now. A lot of guys in the agency world on my end are really gravitating towards that. So great place to get citations. The cool thing with Bright Local is you can pay, I want to say $2 each for a citation, and they do the work. They get it set up for you, which is nice. So it's a nice way to control your budget and consistently build these citations at the same time. Whitespark, all they do is they give you a list of places that you could go and do it yourself. And there is a cost to using that service as well. I did mention Moz Local. There is a tool there, the checker tool, I guess you could call it, where you can actually put in your business name, street address, zip code, and it will do a search for you across a bunch of different networks and tell you, okay, here you're listed in Show Me Local, for example, but your street address is different. It doesn't match up. You're not on Foursquare at all. So it'll give you some information about these different online places that you can be. And then of course they're going to ask you to sign up, right? And I want to say Moz Local is like $119 a year, maybe. Not horribly expensive, but they're going to submit to some of the bigger companies, but some of the littler ones, like, I don't know, Show Me Local, I don't know that one, or NavMe. Some of those, they're going to say, hey, you're not listed here, click here to go do it. And you still have to kind of do it manually, but they pull it all into one dashboard, which is pretty nice. All right. 88% of listings tend to be inaccurate. And I'm surprised at the number of business names that are inaccurate, but a lot of this is related to people trying to spam or put, like we talked about earlier, Seattle or something like that in there. It's very important that, everything's always the same. I've already talked about claiming and optimizing your Google My Business profile. Use a tool like Yext or Moz to get those top citations automatically. So basically you log in, put your name, address, phone number in there, and they can go kind of automatically submit to a lot of those, along with some of the bigger data aggregators, which collect information about businesses and of course resell it, and then leverage a tool like Bright Local, Whitespark to start finding these smaller opportunities where you can get listed. Maybe there is an awning website that's just a list of business listing of awning companies across the U.S., right? Or something like the Custom Home Decor Network, where they list everybody out by location, things like that. So take advantage of those opportunities when you can. If you do want more information on citations, I've put together a page on the WTMarketingPros website with 75 different places that you can go to start getting citations on your own without using one of these services that I mentioned. So that should keep you busy for quite a while. 75 of them on there, and that's at WTMarketingPros.com/citations. All right, so number 3, getting a lot of real, not fake reviews. Very important as well. It's also important, obviously, we're talking about all this stuff and you're busy running a business, right? So if you can come up with a tool, or you could hire a company, that can do a lot of this for you, and you see an ROI on it, then it just makes sense to do that and focus your energy on, building your business and generating more content, more leads, more conversions, more customers, that kind of stuff. So using a tool that requests a review is a great way to automate it, whether that is asking them for their email address. Most likely you already get their email address, and plugging that into a tool that automatically asks for reviews. Leave a printed review card. So I've seen these a lot with business cards where it just has a QR code. QR codes are making a huge comeback right now. I'm really, really surprised by this. But you can leave a business card with a QR code. Train your installers to plant seeds, and of course, deliver world-class experience. Here's one thing that I like to have installers to do is when they see the client, most likely at some point, the client is going to be around with the cell phone. Ask the client about their cell phone. People love talking about their phones. Hey, is that an iPhone or an Android? Oh, I'm an Android person, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's really cool. Would you mind, if you have the printed review card, would you mind taking a picture of this and leaving us a review right here, before we leave? That would be fantastic, and my employer would be very happy with that. Or you can train them to text a link to the person's phone, like through text messaging, that kind of stuff. You can also make a call, obviously, after the service to walk them through the review process. The best time to get a review is while you're right there with them doing the install. You're finished. They're very happy with it. Get that review while you can. Getting it as a follow-up, obviously, the longer the time goes, the more difficult it's going to be to get the review. And, build those reviews into your company culture. I mentioned this earlier, needing a review system. All of our clients get access to this, but if you just want access to it, you can do that as well. Reviews.WTMarketingPros. You can go there, plug in your business name, address, information, and you'll get a free PDF back that gives you a score on your reviews and how well you're doing, what systems you're listed on, which ones you're not listed on. And some other really cool stuff there. So you can get that absolutely free. If you do want to use a service like this, typically what our clients do is they email us every Friday and say, hey, we did 3 installs for Joe, Fred, and Tom. Here are their email addresses, and we plug them in for them. But as I mentioned, plug in your business name, zip code, phone number, and it will give you a review score. Absolutely free. I've also done some training in the past on local and on-page SEO. You can find that at WTMarketingPros.com/training. That would be another really good one to go through that is similar to what we're talking about today, but not so GMB specific. A lot about the organic side of ranking locally. All right, so the proven formula to get listings, obviously Google My Business, getting that optimized 100%. Building citations all around the web, the more the better. And then building those positive reviews. Obviously you want 5 stars, that's what everybody wants. Those are the pieces. And then of course, matching that up with good on-page SEO is going to get you there. One last thing I did want to mention, Bing also has something called Bing Places. You definitely should look that up. Just go to Google and type in Bing Places, or go to Bing and type in Bing Places. Same thing, claim your listing, get it up there. And as you can see here, sign up, get $100 free search credit. So there's some pay-per-click advantages to being in that system as well. Also, Apple Maps has their own system, and you can actually claim your listing inside of Apple Maps as well. So make sure that you're optimizing all 3 of those profiles. This one was obviously mostly around GMB, but Bing and Apple also have opportunities for you to list your business as well. So listen, if you have any questions, make sure you plug those in. If you are seeing that this is just a lot of work and you would like somebody to do it, I'd love an opportunity just to speak with you. Absolutely free, a short call. And you can sign up for that at WTMarketingPros.com/strategy. Get on the phone for 10, 15 minutes, talk about your business, what your goals are, what you're trying to accomplish, and see if there's a good fit between what you guys are doing and how we can help businesses grow, get more leads across the web. Next month's training is all around the 5 steps to digital domination. I did mention this early on, the digital domination method. So we're going to go through the 5 steps, and you can see some of the things we're going to be talking about. It's going to be a pretty in-depth webinar. Local ranking, voice search, security, having that HTTPS thing set up. We're going to go into a little bit about paid ads, but using all of these pieces together, as I mentioned, like a recipe, putting it all in there is going to lead to a fantastic lasagna, right? A lasagna of success, I guess, but it's going to be a great way for you to crush your competition. So make sure that you go sign up for that training at WTMarketingPros.com/training. And again, I mentioned if you are interested in a strategy session, a short discovery call just to see what you're up to and how we could possibly help you, I would love to have that talk with you. You can call me 314-334-1681, or just go to WTMarketingPros.com/strategy. Pick a time that works best for you. And I hope you enjoyed the webinar today. I don't see any questions coming in, so I'm going to finish it up. If you do have any questions after the fact, go ahead and just shoot me an email, will@WTMarketingPros.com. I'd be happy to answer those for you. Thank you very much for your time today. I do appreciate it, and I hope you have a fantastic remainder of your week. Thanks, everyone. See ya.